be sucking you like glue, baby.
Wanna put it on you,
baby.
Yeah, in the G-spot. Call me Mr. Flintstone. I can make your bed rock. Ooh,
I can make your bed rock.
We gotta keep that in. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Grab My Banner podcast, episode 31. We've got a nice little episode for you here today. We're so sorry for missing out last week. Just had some things get in the way. This one's going to be a little bit different because we've had some technical difficulties. We've had pretty much every difficulty that you could imagine. We left the gambling book. We didn't even send in some of our bets. Everything was just a mess. So instead, what we're going to do is have our Raise Energy question, and then we're going to go into a Reddit discussion talking about our heirlooms after Bangalore, our heirloom rankings after Bangalore's has entered the thing. We're going to have a quick interview with someone who leaks talking about Season 9, and then we are going to have another Reddit discussion at the end of the show, and then we're going to finish the show up. And if I would stick around. If you hear the music for the end of the show going, maybe listen to it for a little bit. There might be some ads. Listen to those ads. There might be a little surprise for you guys on the other side. If you pay attention to our live streams, you know exactly what we are talking about. So, without further ado, boys, let's get into the show. But before we do that, make sure you guys are following us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. We just had a video that had 212,000 views on TikTok this week. Literally insane. Talking about Big Blue Dick. I mean, this is just how we speak. We just talk about Big Blue Dick, and we blow up.
Yeah.
We just like the Big Blue Dick.
We just like the Big Blue Dick. It was literally nothing crazy. Like, we just talked about the Big Blue Dick, and here we are.
Bro, it's all about the strategy. You got to start at the balls, work your way up the shaft to the tip.
Or you start at the tip, meet halfway through mid-shaft, go back towards tip, and leave that way, because balls is just a mess. You don't really want to go to...
Or you go balls and fuck up.
You cannot neglect the balls, damn it.
Well, the balls, I mean,
if the balls aren't a mess, you're doing it wrong.
That's true. But at the same time, balls, I would say all three versions of the shaft have better loot than balls. The tip.
I think we're just really lucky that we have three versions of the shaft.
We are. We are very lucky.
Yeah.
We're blessed.
We're blessed.
Hashtag blessed. So, I mean, there we go. Anyway, so go ahead and join our Discord as well. DM me if you guys need the link. DM anybody at this table if you guys need the link. We will send it to you. Get into that Discord. We had a lot of new members joining recently. Thank you guys for that. Now, without further ado, boys, let's get into the Raise Energy question of the week. Use code BANNER for 15% off all Rep Sports products. Code BANNER, 15% off. Raise Energy question of the week. What would each legend be known for in their group of friends? You know, all of us have our own things that we're known for as in this group, like Brian. Brian, he'll buy you anything you want without ever say anything ever. He's just the guy where if you go to Brian, he'll buy you some food, you have a great time, you'll be like, hey, let me pay you back. No, you're good. That's the type of guy Brian is. Kyle, he's the nicest guy in the world. We would call him the gentle giant, right? What would each legend be known as in their group of friends? What do you guys think?
Well, can we just start with the most obvious one, for me at least, is Mirage is the guy with the cool dad.
Yeah.
You hang out with Mirage almost just as much to hang out with his dad as you do with
Brian,
Mirage.
That's almost you as well. You have a sick dad.
You do.
I do. It's very hard to compete with that.
I mean, that's just the truth. But yes, I think Mirage would actually have a cool dad. You can't either. You have one of the coolest dads of all time, or you have no dad at all to have a Mirage-like personality. You have to have one of the two things happen.
That's pretty fair.
Very true.
I feel like that's, he probably had both happen.
Yeah, well, sure.
That's my guess. He probably had both happen to him.
He had, actually, reading some of his background story, it's interesting the relationship he has with his dad. But I can definitely see where you're coming from. Because most of the time, people with that type of personality, they have one parent that is just very cool, outgoing. You can hang out with them all day. They're a little crazy, but they're fun anyway. I could see that.
It's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like Mirage would be the guy that always makes your girlfriend laugh more than you.
Oh, that would bother you.
You're like, dude, like, I love you to death.
But shut up.
But shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
but
Yeah, but then you go home and you're like, I'm being a bitch. And then it happens again. You're like, God, I hate that guy. And then But you love him though.
But then when you're hanging out with him, he makes you laugh, and you're like, "Man, I love this guy."
Yeah.
And then your girlfriend comes around, and you're like, "Dude, just shut the fuck up for 5 minutes."
Dude, trying to retain some clout.
You're just
please.
sitting there. You're just sitting there at the party, just like staring at them in the distance while they're laughing, and you're just like, "Fuck you, dude." All pissed
On
off.
the drive home, you're like, "So, what were you guys talking? What were you laughing at? What were you talking about? You want to tell me what was so funny, babe? You want to tell me what was so funny, babe?"
Yeah. I actually had Octane as the dude that you'd want to go over to their house for the sleepover because Octane's rich as fuck. And his parents
with
really
no
aren't
supervision.
around. Yeah, you
right?
have no
Yeah.
supervision, right? So you're there all day long, just at this awesome, gigantic house, just chilling, having a great time. I think that would be what Octane is.
That, and he's 100% the instigator.
Oh yeah,
He's the
dude.
guy that gets every party started, and he's the guy when you're at the party is making you take every possible fucking shot that passes your way.
That's
my
true, man.
God.
He's a facilitator. We all know someone like that.
Yep,
Also,
yep,
he's
my
the guy
sister.
that never says no to a dare. Doesn't matter what you ask him to do, he'll do it.
And
Yeah.
sometimes, like, you'll
Snort that.
offer the dare, and you're like, I really wish I wouldn't have done that,
No.
knowing he's going to
Right.
do it.
It's like when you dare him, you're like, "Hey, I bet you won't jump off the second floor into the pool," and he's like, "Man."
Yeah.
And he's like, you're like sitting there at the bottom floor. You're like, "Man, I really shouldn't have told
Yeah.
you."
You're
that."
sitting there at the bottom floor, and you're like, fuck, he's 4 floors up.
As he's swallowing the third whole walnut, you're like, why did I ask him to do that?
You're like, I'm actually really concerned for his safety right now. I feel bad.
This
for
wasn't
him
worth
doing
the
this.
$5 I offered him, and I knew he would take it. That reminds me a lot of when I asked Kyle to drink a whole cup of Jack Daniels for $5.
It was, oh,
We're not
It was
kidding.
actually for
It was
$10, and it was the best $10 I ever made.
No, it was not. You literally almost died. You drank an entire. So Kyle, we were camping, and Kyle, we had basically a bottle of Jack Daniels
It's
that we
8
couldn't
a.m.
close up. It's 8 a.m. and Troy goes to Kyle, but $10 can't drink it. And Kyle looks at Troy, goes, okay,
yeah.
and we
And
fill
he
an
drank
entire red Solo cup of just straight Jack Daniels, and Kyle puts it down in 10 minutes. The dude's fucked up for 8 hours straight.
It was-
and he can't even function. Like dude. Somehow we buckled him into the car, surrounded him in plastic wrap. In his drunken state, had opened the door, unbuckled himself, tried to get out. It didn't even look like he tried to get out. We were all facing
No.
the other way, and all of a sudden we just hear this loud crash, and we
To the
all look
sand.
around and we go, "Oh shit!" And Kyle's face down into the gravel.
No, so that's the thing too. Is like Kyle, like you said, he put it down so incredibly fast. We were trying to get the campsite like put
Cleaned
away.
up.
We were trying to put it away because people had complained the night before that we were being too loud, which we were.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were being way too loud already. Now Kyle's screaming at every fucking bird that flies
Oh,
by.
God.
He transformed himself into a Scottish pirate and was just talking like Captain
was his
Jack
name?
Sparrow.
McGulligan Kilkenny.
Yeah,
Bro,
his
my alter
drunken-
ego.
His alter ego, McGulligan Kilkenny. We get him locked into the car like Brian said. All of a sudden, we hear a thud on the ground. He had fallen face first into the sand and was just dead asleep.
And then
And the thing that made it worse was we had to travel. But yeah, so that's definitely how Octane would be. On the opposite end of that spectrum, Watson would be the friend that leaves the party first every single time.
because she hasn't experienced
And
college
that
yet.
person, like, it sucks because you want them to stay. Like, they're your friend. You want them to stay, but they always leave. Like, and it's not just that they leave first. Because it's one thing if you leave first at, like, 3 in the morning. Okay? It's another thing if you leave first at, like, 11:30 when the party's just getting started.
I think she leaves because she's got a tentacle addiction.
And she has to go use some tent.
Yeah, she got to go some 10. You know what I
Hashtag
mean?
use some tent.
Use some
That's-
10.
use some 10.
Dude, I didn't see Watson like that at all. Big fucking surprise. Big fucking surprise.
What's your background on your phone right now?
I don't want to talk about it because these simp boys in fucking Discord are going to ask me for it. I'm not giving it up. Not for nothing. Not for nothing. You guys buy a Rep Sports box, maybe, but that's it. Anyway, the way that I saw Watson was, besides her alter ego as the below the waist ocean dweller, I saw her as the girl at the party who's like a wallflower and she's like dainty and quiet, and then like she's a mega lightweight, right? So after her first drink, she just opens up and she's adorable, and all the guys love her, and all the popular girls are jealous of her.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
I've seen that happen a few times as
That
well.
does happen.
That does
Right.
happen.
Because the guys like expect it from the popular girls, right? And then when the girl that's like really pretty but she's quiet, all of a sudden starts to become like sociable, everybody just flocks to her. That's how I see Watson.
I see that. I feel
I
that.
had something similar with another person that was Crypto, but he's just this uptight guy until he gets drunk, and once he gets drunk, he becomes this loose, free cannon asshole.
You
or
think?
even slightly tipsy.
Yeah, slightly tipsy. He just,
You
it's
think
like
he
one of
becomes
those,
a dick?
oh, he's a fucking asshole.
I can't see Crypto as an asshole.
Dude, he's literally a drunk Crypto. I could see him as an
I
ass.
can see him as an asshole.
He's an asshole. He's that, I'm smarter, I'm better than you, I'm drunk, fuck you kind of guy.
Yeah, I see that.
That makes sense. So for
It's like Elon Musk if he's
man.
hammered.
I don't know. If,
I don't
is
know-
Elon-
I don't know
Do
if
we
Elon
know
Musk-
Elon Musk?
I don't know if we know him well enough to say that. Someone get Joe in here.
we have to talk to him. I had Lifeline as because we all have this, and if you have a big group of friends, you have this one person. Lifeline is the group therapist that everybody, like, she knows everything about everybody, right? She knows, like, all their issues, their problems, relationship things, all that, but nobody really knows anything about her. She's just so good at getting you to talk about your problems that, like, you're like, wait, like, what are hers? Like, you never know what her issues
Yeah.
are because she's just so infectiously happy all the time.
can see that.
Yeah, so it's just, you're constantly just like, do you need to talk? Like, do you need to get anything
Yeah,
out?
I feel that. You need to get some off your chest? Are you sure?
Just starts instantly
How about that
exploding,
top?
bawling,
Yeah.
just crying. Yes.
Nobody will listen to me.
Yeah.
Well, shit. What about, talking about dads? I think Caustic would be known as the DILF, right? I don't know whose dad he would be, but he would be the DILF that always cooks for the homies, right?
Oh, that'd be dope.
Can't you just see Caustic in a big ass fucking like apron, like cooking on the barbecue, right? And every time he cooks that swag ass barbecue, you're like, Mr. Caustic, what? This is so good. What is this? And every time he's like, pork. It's pork. It's pork. And then, every once in a while you'll get like a strange bone in your burger and you're like, Mr. Caustic, are you sure this is pork? He's like, it's pork.
You see death in his eyes. Yeah. I had something similar for Caustic, but it was more along the lines of like if he was in your friend group, not like a parental figure. He would be that one friend where like you don't really invite him out. Like he's there. And you only invite him out when you're really going to go crazy. Like if you're going to go insane. Because when you
He's
bring
the
up
fourth
his
string.
name. When you bring up his name, everybody's like, I don't know, man. Like I'm really like, I don't want to throw off the vibe. I want to have a good time tonight. And then you bring him, and every single time you bring him, as long as it's like once every 2 or 3 months, it's one of the greatest nights of your life because he just brings that weird energy that makes going any place interesting as fuck.
If you were to go out to a bar with Caustic, one of two things is going to happen. One, you have the greatest night of your life. Two, the night goes black.
Yeah.
And the night's probably going to go black and you'll wake up with missing limbs or something, but that's besides the point.
You might wake up like in a bathtub full of ice cubes and you're like, where's my kidney?
Yeah, when did this club get a fog machine?
I put
I thought
cost
this was Bobby Salazar. So what's going on?
I put Caustic as the guy that always knows about the new rock band, like before they even come out. Like he's just like ahead of the times, like in bands. Like he just knows what's coming up.
You're like, come see this band with me. Like, I think they're gonna blow up, and then they end up blowing up. And by the time they do, he's like, come see to this one. I think they're gonna do well as well. And then they it's a
And then
process.
it's a process, yeah.
And even
Like,
if they
just
don't
knows.
blow up, like the music is just good.
Yeah, it's just
you know?
good music. Yeah.
True.
I got I feel like this one's just kind of obvious. Bloodhound is that one friend that never understands any sarcasm in the entire fucking group.
Oh yeah,
Everything goes over Bloodhound's head. They're just like they're sitting there. You'll say something to them, and it's like that kid in fucking junior high where you say something and they're just so naive they don't understand a single "that's what she said" joke. That's Bloodhound.
You want to like them so bad. You want to like them so bad, and
Like,
you
they
try
don't
to
get any
mess
of
with
the
them,
jokes.
and they just can't get it.
It's like no, that was an insult. Damn it.
That type of friend you can end up having a good relationship with if you find a different way to mess around with them.
It's true.
So it can happen, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
That reminds me of a friend I had in high school. Bless his heart. Loved the guy. Super good guy. But he was like really into Norse mythology and like took it to the point where he believed in it, and it was like. But it was like so weird, right? Because we're in high school and nobody else knows about it. But he's like super, super into it. But as long as you can like relate to them on their level, right? then they're like super good guys. Just a little different, man. Super different.
Yeah. I have one for Gibraltar, and it actually reminds me of early Kyle because when we were younger, Kyle hit his growth spurt like when he was in like 3rd grade. Like the dude was 6'1" in 3rd grade, was always super tall to all of us, right, when we were younger.
Well, everyone is to us.
Well, yeah, me and Brian are just short dudes. I'm only 5'8".
Honesty bomb.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like at the time, like Kyle was just like huge, right? But he's the most gentle giant of all time. At least he was like when we were younger and stuff like that. I feel like Gibraltar fits that description as well.
I'm no longer gentle or what?
No, I mean, you still are. But like when we played sports a lot younger, I would be like, Kyle, can you please, like we'd be playing basketball. I'd be like, Kyle, can you please back me down, bro? Like just go to the low post one time. You could dominate me.
God.
I remember I made Kyle dominate me in the low post, and he hit me super hard, and I fell down on the ground, and I messed up my wrist, and I was like, that's what I want to see. And it made our basketball games way better.
Yeah, so gentle, man. Go ahead.
And then one time you told me to do that, and I accidentally ran over a poor girl who was playing basketball with us, and I felt so terrible afterwards.
And that was the last. That was the last aggression we saw in sports. So sweet, wouldn't hurt a sponge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Gibraltar reminds me of.
Question.
Kyle's definitely heard a sponge in his day.
Yeah, he's heard a few sponges. My sponges. Yeah.
It's a good time. Anyways, I have Loba is the chick that always has gum, like no matter what in class. If you ever needed some gum, you were like, "Hey, can I get some gum?"
That makes sense.
She'd have like 3 different packs. You could always pick one.
Always chomping like a
always chomping and blowing bubbles in the class,
bro. Wraith is the fuck.
Go.
I was gonna say Wraith is the girl that always has headphones.
Oh yeah,
that's it. That's her right there. She always had headphones and a hood on.
Or they had the headphones in the sleeve, and then they would listen to it. Like
when the teacher got on her enough for having headphones on and told her to take her hood off enough to where she just lines them through her sleeve and puts her hand to her head.
I had Loba as the friend that takes way too long to get ready because we've all had that. Yeah. Especially like if you have friends that are like chicks. There are times, I used to have a really good friend back in high school, and she would literally, I'd be like, can we go, like, to, I don't know, like a drive-thru, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, can we just go, like, get some McDonald's or something? Dude, it was like 30 minutes before she would just get ready to go through a drive-thru. Like, we weren't even walking in the store. But then what would happen is be like, no, let's go inside, because obviously she wants to go inside after she just put, like, all of her stuff together for, like, 30, 45 minutes. Like, okay, fine. Go inside, flaunt it. Loba's definitely that. She wants to flaunt. And there's nothing wrong with being a flaunter.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But looking back, right, in high school, I thought it was silly that there was all these dress code rules that, quote, unquote, kept girls from distracting boys, right? I was like, that's silly. They should be able to dress how they want. Looking back, you're 13. Your hormones are just hitting you. Dude, you don't know what's going. You have no idea what sexuality is, but it's happening. Yeah, dude, I'm honestly glad. I'm honestly glad that there was those dress code rules.
I'm glad
I would have learned even less than I did.
Dude, I'd walk through the Walmart. Bro,
honestly,
when I was 13, I'd walk through the Walmart bra section, and I would beat off enough stuff to beat in my bank for like 3 weeks.
Dude, it was intense, man. That was an intense period of life.
I don't understand how he survived it. To be real,
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like,
what?
There were some dark times.
Yeah. Thank God I wasn't eating healthy. Imagine if I had all that energy.
Is there anybody we're forgetting?
I mean, there's a few.
I mean, there's a couple.
We don't have to hit everybody.
I put Horizon as that smart chick that's really nice, though, and lets you cheat off her.
There are some awesome people like that.
No, if I didn't have those kinds of people in high school, it definitely wouldn't have passed.
No, if I remember having
Thank you, what?
Some of you, yeah, I was going to say, I remember having some of you in my classes, I'd be like, just like leaning. I'm left-handed too, so like if somebody was on my right side, it'd be easy pickings for it. And then I could pretend I was right-handed for like if they were on the other side.
I was always blocking people because I'm like, dude, I'm way too stupid. Why are you cheating on me?
I'm helping you.
I'm like, bro, don't cheat on me, bro. I'm like, I'm dumb as fuck. I don't even know the answer to this question.
All right, that'll just about do it for the Raise Energy question. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we kept our fucking word. Okay? Don't forget, you use code BANNER, you send me the receipt, you're getting a personalized card. And we already sent our cards out, right?
No.
Oh, we didn't send the cards out?
No, they haven't been
They're
mailed
literally
yet.
sitting right over there.
Oh, can we do that now? Let me see the cards. I didn't get to write in one.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't here last week. For the...
We'll do it after this.
We'll finish. We'll write them all after, and then we'll send them out.
We're sending out our cards right now to the two people who sent me the receipts. They're getting some stickers, some Grab My Banner stickers. We're sending them. You have a random item in yours, correct?
I put some special. So these guys are actually getting Diesel the Mechanic and Dude Dog. Dude Dog was number 1. Diesel the Mechanic was number 2. To use code banner at repsports.com. And they're actually getting 2 cards. So they're getting one from Wyatt, Brian, and Kyle. That's going to be 1 card. And then they're also going to get a separate card from the super producer himself. And there's a very special item in each of those that has a personal story attached to it. It's all written out. I actually really spent a lot of time on it, so I made it worth it.
So that's, I mean, what more could you ask for? You're getting 15% off on all Rep Sports products, which we know gets you in the zone. Then you get yourself a card from the boys, and you get like a personalized item. Now, hold on. I'm sure everybody's going to be lining up now, but you're still getting a card.
And you also, don't forget, Troy did mention earlier that the background on his phone might be up for grabs for one lucky person who does it.
Yeah,
really?
If you request it, right? If you use code banner at repsports.com and you request to have my background, I will email it to you.
So yeah, don't go ahead and use code banner for 15% off. Get yourself a good deal. Get yourself a card. Big shout out to the 2 guys who used it. We'll be sending those cards at the end of the show. Get you some Raise energy. We're going to be moving on down to the Apex News Minute, and we will see you guys on the other side for Reddit discussion number 1. Welcome to the Apex News Minute. I'm Wyatt B. Our top story of the day, still no response from Respawn or EA about the matchmaking problems plaguing Apex Legends since the no-fill update. A recent study done by me, live on Twitch, resulted in 11 straight games without a teammate before finally a fellow player appeared on the squad. Duo seems to be getting it the worst, while trios and ranked are having less problems, but still have non-teammate games nonetheless. Our second story, Respawn reeling after a new glitch caused high-level players on PlayStation to lose all of their progress and go back to level 1. Not only did players lose their level, but they lost their stats, badges, dive trails, and trackers, as well as Battle Pass levels and rank. Respawn has since fixed the problem, giving players back their progress after they play 1 game. And our final story, the Apex Legends Chinatown crossover has been pushed back due to the line rebranding to be respectful to Asian communities. Bloodhound, Wraith, Lifeline, and Mirage were all set to have skins from the crossover. Those skins will be returning after the rebrand has been done. That'll do it for the Apex News Minute. I'm Wyatt B. All right, so boys, a new Heirloom dropped. Bangalore, she's got her data knife. It's out now, okay? Looks pretty nice. It's decent. It's
pretty schmexy. Yeah, I like it.
It's got some things.
Not the worst.
It's not the worst.
For those of you that know your knives, it's a kukri, and it has a gut hook on it, which doesn't make a ton of sense, but it looks very cool.
So that's, just skins get wins. Look cool. You want shit to look cool.
Yeah, if you're a Bangalore main, it's definitely a must-have. For those of you that are still out there.
For all 6 of you?
Yeah,
you should definitely get it.
For all 10 of you that are out there,
so,
including Shiv FPS.
We feel like it would be most important that we bring back the coveted Heirloom rankings. Now, the first time we did this, we got a lot of feedback on this. This is one topic that Apex fans and players love to talk about. The Heirloom rankings. And boys, I don't know about you guys, but my rankings changed dramatically from the first time. I don't know if it was
so much.
I don't know what happened. Maybe it was I watched a lot more streams, and a lot of people have heirlooms, and I kind of realized some things that I didn't like, some things that I did like. I got an heirloom myself that I hated at first. Now I really like it. My rankings are all way different from what I had originally. What about you guys?
Same. Oh man, 100%. It's way different.
What I have as mine is just, compared to my last one, you guys can be like, the fuck happened to you?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right.
So, boys, I think we can all agree on one thing, though. That Pathfinder's boxing gloves are still the shittiest heirloom, and they deserve to be at the bottom of the fucking list because they're trash.
I disagree. I think
garbage.
They are towards the bottom. I don't think they're last.
Okay, well, I can deal with that.
Let me go first, and let me also say before y'all talk shit, okay, do what I did. All right? Do what I did. Go on YouTube and watch every single animation, both in first person and in third person. Because obviously, I don't think probably anyone that's listening has every single Heirloom. If you do, good for you for dropping those big bucks. But don't talk shit on Heirlooms or on any of our ranks until you've seen them all, because that really changed my opinion on a lot of these.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of work. I might just want to stay biased.
You can do that as well.
Yeah, you can.
It's always easier to do it that way, but you just look like an idiot sometimes. But, I mean, I look like an idiot all the time.
Troy, number 9.
Number 9 is the new one, Bangalore's data knife.
Oh, you have it dead last?
I have it dead last because the attack animations are vanilla as fuck. And also, the little golden flash that it does when you use it to attack, like the actual strike, is like pretty lame, and like I don't think it looks all that cool. The only thing I really liked about it was the inspect, where she pops out the sharpening stick out of the end of it and sharpens it. I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, there's pretty much nothing.
You don't like the spin when she sprints or the slide animation?
Nah, dude. I mean, like I shouldn't say I don't like it. Like I don't think it's bad, but I think that I found something in every single other Heirloom that put it above it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I see that.
Number 8 for me is Bloodhound's axe, and I think that it's just it looks so cool, and also the way that he can like spin it while he's running. Those two things were enough to make it 8 for me. But it's really just because it looks so unbelievably badass, and the attack animation is really cool.
So me and you both had Bloodhound's axe way high last time, and both me and you now have it way low. And I like you said, I think it looks really cool. But dude, it's just like
it's just so boring.
Yeah, the Heirlooms now are getting like 3 animations to pull out, 3 animations to just have it inspected, and then you get like some rare one, right? This one's just 1,
right? And
that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's pretty lame, honestly.
Not really competitive, but I think it was the second to come out, so kind of understandable. Number 7 is Pathfinder's boxing gloves. Aside from the awesome and long animation, there's just not a lot going on with those. I just don't see the appeal of those as much as maybe other people do. I think the animation's dope, where he punches the crow, and it's really long, and I think it's really cool. But for me, that's most of what it's got going for it. Number 6 is Mirage's trophy. I think it's really clever. I do. But in terms of something that has like staying power for me, like I don't think the incredible amount of voice lines is enough for me to put it higher than that, because I'm not a gigantic Mirage fan. If you are a Mirage fan, it's worth. And also the pork chop is incredibly rare. So if you're going to, put it higher just because of the pork chop, I don't think that's super valid.
Yeah.
So that's 6.
It's valid.
Okay.
Brian.
Okay.
Imagine
I'm going to lose my mind when Brian does his right.
I know. I already know, dude. I know. Number 5 is Octane's butterfly knife.
You're fucking me.
One of the absolute coolest things in the entire game, no doubt about it. But there's really not that many animations at all. There's one pull-out animation, there's one inspect animation, and then like he has that amazing twirl, right? And he has that awesome inspect. But other than that, there's just not a lot of variation from it.
You're fucking terrible.
If I wanted something that was going to be flicked around, right, as I was using it, or like as I was running around, you know what I would pick, right? Everybody would pick Wraith Kunai.
No,
Everybody would pick Wraith Kunai. And Wraith Kunai has a way better attack animation with the electricity.
No,
it's not even it's electricity and the little portal. So I mean, it's just I know it's tough. It was tough for me to put it there, but I did. Number 4, Gibraltar's War Club. I put that. I think I put that last time.
Yes.
Yeah. We all didn't like it when it first came out.
And holy shit, was I ever wrong? That thing has so many awesome variations on the inspect. One of them is where he looks at his shield. One of his attack animations, he uses that cool gut hook that he has. It's a double attack. And then like the fire that comes out when he hits you is unbelievably cool. The way that it glows is unbelievably cool. There's some lore. I guess his ex-boyfriend gave it to him, so there's a little inscription on the bottom. I think that thing is fucking sick. I didn't think so at first, but when I watched all the animations, I was like, dude, raw. Number 3, Caustic's Death Hammer. Who would have thought, right?
Dude.
But it just is so... The more that I look at it, the more fitting it is. It's such a brute force weapon, and the fact that the little puff of gas comes out every time he hits you, that's so functional in-game that it put it really high for me. That's something you're going to see all the time, and it's going to bring you joy every time.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Number 2, Wraith's Kunai. 100%. It's very hard to not put it number 1. I'll explain why I didn't put it number 1 when I get to number 1. But the fluidity of that knife, the attack animations, everything about it, the way you can flick it is just absolutely fluid. It's smooth as glass. And when you do something that right, and it's the first heirloom to ever come out, like, dude, mad props. Like, that just brings so much more to your gameplay when you have it. And to me, you know, in terms of the way I'm ranking these, I think number 1 is, like, the number 1 thing for me is how much it brings to your gameplay. And Wraith's Kunai brings a ton. Every time you're running, it's bringing a shitload to your gameplay as you're flicking it. So that puts it way up there. Number 1, I never would have thought until I really studied the animations and watched people play it, especially in third person, is Lifeline Shock Sticks.
Let's go, baby.
Dude, so fucking cool. If you guys see the attack animation where she does the overhead strike and jumps in the air and kicks both of her legs out, dude, so raw. The way that she twirls it around, and like the inspect animation where she's playing the drums, like, it has more personality than any other of the heirlooms in the entire thing, and it's incredibly fitting for her personality, and it's done super well.
Oh no, he's putting on the bullshit goggles. Brian's got the bullshit goggles on.
That's my lineup. I don't regret a thing. Whoever's up next, you feel free to rail me, but I really can stand by this.
Kyle, I can see you wanting to go, but you and me, we're in this together. You gotta wait. We got.
I was actually very.
We got to hear the rest.
Troy's.
We got to hear the rest of the bullshit that's coming.
Okay,
so
you want. Keep them on, because mine was pretty similar to Troy's.
I can't see you.
Okay, all right. Just keep the bullshit goggles on. We might have to rename them after this, because I think me and Troy have it along the right line.
No, there's definitely still the bullshit goggles.
There is the bullshit on one thing that he did, and that's my number 1 overall pick. It's the Octane Butterfly.
Let's go, baby.
Listen, as much like Troy makes a great point for it, right? Like, there is, if you're flipping things around, it can get a little, I don't know. It can get a little stale, but I think with Octane, similar to the description he had about Lifelines, there's a lot of personality with that, and I love, Octane's a very jittery, a guy who's moving around constantly. The one thing I wish that he didn't do, I hate when you're standing still and he's got it kind of like pointed downward, and it's just like standing there at like a weird angle. I don't know, I just don't like that part of it.
I feel that.
I was going to put it down lower on my number 2, but it just looks really awesome.
I love it when you're stimming and chasing somebody and it looks like you're going to fucking stab somebody in the fucking eye with it.
Yeah.
Like, that just looks so sick.
And I think that might be, one of the best parts about it, right? Number 2, Lifeline Shock Sticks. Now, I've had the Lifeline Shock Sticks for well over a year now, right? I've had them forever, and I still am not tired of that animation. I must do it, when I play Lifeline, I must do it literally probably like 10, 13 times a game. And they know it. Brian, get those fucking goggles out of my face. I must do it 10 to 13 times. That animation still, I don't get tired of it. Never get tired of it. Especially when she smacks the sticks and all the electricity comes out. Like, it's perfect. It's just one of those things where it's timeless for me. Especially being a Lifeline main, I can't get tired of it. And it's like, all the other ones I kind of can get tired of from what I've seen. Even my next pick, which is Gibraltar's War Club. Now, I shat on this thing, right? I shat on this thing. Last time we did this ranking, I was like, dude, this War Club sucks dick. And then I started playing Gibraltar, and I was like, oh, well, I'm going to get a free heirloom anyway, because that event was out. The 2-year anniversary event was out, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to go ahead, and I'm going to get it because I play Gibraltar. I don't really play anybody else who has an heirloom in this lineup. Boy, am I happy that I did that, okay? Holy fuck. I had a lot of regret when I got the Wraith's Kunai. Not because it doesn't look cool. I just wish there was more attached to it. But this one, I don't regret at all. He said Brian's doing the bullshit goggles again. I don't regret it at all. Like Troy said, the way the fire comes out And talking about the lore that his ex-boyfriend gave it to him, there's even more lore than that. If you look closely at the heirloom, there's a little mouse in the area where the fire's coming out, because there's a story about Gibraltar's family and how they made it to Kings Canyon, because that's where he was raised, in Kings Canyon. There's a story of how his family made it there. They had to travel across the planets in a ship. They were there. His ancestors had to do it. They were in that ship for 20 years, and during that 20 years, his great-grandfather lost his mind, went completely insane. He was on the ship forever. They had to throw him in the brig. While he was in the brig, he was thinking about ending it all, and while he was there, a little mouse came up and just, like, nuzzled up against him, and from that, the little mouse, like, there's a whole story to it, but essentially the little mouse taught him to keep going, to stay optimistic. Everything's going to be okay. Eventually, they got to the land. He got to get out. And he used that little mouse to carry their entire family around. So it's like, there's even more lore than that in it. It looks cool. There's a secret animation where he does the haka, which is like a, what kind of dance is it?
It's a Pacific Islander.
Yeah, it's like a dance that you see.
It's a battle dance.
It's a battle dance.
I think it's New Zealand.
New Zealand, yeah. It's something like that. But he does the haka, and it's awesome. Like, the sounds it makes, the orange flashes that come out of it, the smoke that comes out of the top. I just think it's got the most complete amount of animations. The only problem is it looks a little weird. That's why it's a little lower on my list. That's pretty much it. But I love the Gibraltar heirloom. I think they did a fantastic job. If all of the heirlooms had those same animations, probably go a little bit lower on the list. But it's awesome. It's very very cool. Yeah, so it's a New Zealand dance.
New Zealand, traditionally done by their, I want to say it was a battle dance, but now it's most commonly used by the rugby team, the New Zealand All Blacks.
Awesome. So number 4 was Caustic's Death Hammer. It's just cool. I hate Caustic to death, but it's just a cool concept. It's not a blade. You know, it's something different. It's a hammer. Very interesting. All the animations mixed in with it as well.
The fact that you can bust down doors with it, too, is hell.
Awesome. Like, that's one of the best parts. So you've got that going on. I just love the hammer. I love the look. I like that it's bright, like, it's like an ugly yellow, kind of like his gas, right? And it's got his face on the back of it. It's just so cool. Then we move on to my number 5 pick. That one is... wait, did I have a number 5? Oh, there we go, Wraith's Kunai. So Wraith's Kunai, I love it, but I will say I regret it a little bit. I wish I would have held on to the heirloom points that I got when I got it, because originally that was the one I wanted so bad. In my mind, I was like, oh, everybody has this one. I need to get this one, and I got it. And I do play Wraith a pretty decent amount, but... I don't know, man. I just wish there was more to it. It obviously was the first heirloom, and hopefully they will update these all at some point to where they have more animations and more things are coming out. I would hope that that's the case so that people who got early heirlooms can, get more out of their heirlooms. But, like, it's probably the coolest looking one, but it just doesn't have everything that I wish it does. Now, when you land, she flips it around her finger and grabs it, and it's one of the coolest things. I'm like, why can't she do that as just like a regular animation? They already have it there. Let her do it. That'd be awesome. So if that one had more animations, I'd be down for that. Number 6, I have Bangalore's Data Knife. I do think it's very cool. I like the way it looks. I just wish there was a little bit more I don't want to say variety on the animations because it does have good variety. I wish they were a little bit longer. And I wish there was, like, different things that she did with it. Maybe, like, a cool knife trick or something like that. Yeah. So I wish there was a little bit more there. 7, Bloodhound's Axe, like I said, and Troy pretty much summed it up perfectly. It's cool looking, but it's very vanilla. There's definitely things missing on it. Number 8, Mirage's Trophy. Any heirloom that only has voice lines as, like, its, like, thing, it's bothersome. If the pork chop showed up more often... I would put it higher. I really would.
You are such a bitch.
Well, how am I a bitch? It's voice lines.
I'm not talking about the Mirage one. I know what's next.
Oh, yeah. Well, I already said it at the beginning of this segment. Pathfinder's boxing gloves, dead fucking last. Listen, it's not the animation. The animation is great. But the way he runs with it is so dumb. I hate the way he runs with it.
He runs like a boxer.
No, it's just like you just barely see the tip of it. Bro. On the edge of your screen. I'm like, bro, come on. This sucks.
Then
this
you need to adjust your field of view.
This sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, your field of view sucks.
I hate it.
Yeah, right. I would hate my field of view, too.
I hate them. No, I hate Pathfinder's boxing gloves. And honestly, like, I'm going to be real. I kind of wish they were more, like, traditional boxing gloves. I kind of wish they were the red with like the white. I kind of wish they were more like serious. The fact that they have like some bullshit on them kind of bothers me.
Maybe you get some recolors in the future.
That'd be dope.
That'd be tight. If they give me, on the way,
if they give me like some classic Everlast red and white, I'll move it up to like top 4.
If they get some dope ass Muhammad Ali boxing gloves,
that's what I'm saying.
That'd be lit.
But that's my list.
Right. Kyle,
you want me to go?
Do you want to bring some sense to this table?
Yeah, I can bring some sense.
All right.
We're going to start in reverse order. I'm going to go from 9 all the way up to 1. So number 9, I got Mirage's Trophy. I'm sorry, but it sucks.
You're trash.
I'm sorry, Brian. You're probably the only one that's going to advocate for this. I defended it last time, but this time I really feel like it's bottom of the tier list, and I've actually been playing a lot of Bloodhound lately, so I feel like Bloodhounds is actually, even though it doesn't do very much, I feel like it's pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, I have Bloodhound's Axe because it just looks cool, man. It's pretty cool in general, and like some of the cartoons that you see with it and stuff are like he does cool shit with it, and like it's pretty cool, but like it just doesn't do anything in game. You just like spin it and run with it. And
other than that, it just has no personality. Like I don't know.
It just doesn't have anything going for it, man. It doesn't have any cool things you can do with it. He just kind of stares at it and then like pets the bird. It's like, who gives a fuck, man? Like it's not really that cool. Number 7, I have Bangalore's Data Knife because, like everybody said, dude, I thought the striking animations would be a lot cooler. I thought they'd put some shit in there where it would just look cool, like it would glow a lot more, and they'd do a lot more with it because they did a lot with Gibraltar's Heirloom. But with hers, it's just kind of meh. I mean, the slide's pretty cool. I mean, some of the, like when she spins, when she runs, I kind of like that animation. But other than that, it's just kind of meh. It's not very cool. Number 6, Pathfinder's Boxing Gloves is what I got.
You're such a bitch.
I honestly, dude, the more that I watch people play with it, it's cool. It's really cool concept, and I really like it. But I just want it to like do more.
The concept may be the coolest. It's just the execution for me was not there.
The animations are the best in the game.
Honestly, I think it's pretty good. I do like the one where he like punches and then his arm pops off like a Rock'em Sock'em Robot. I think that's so dope. But I just think there's a lot of other better ones, if that makes sense. Number 5, I have the Lifeline Shock Sticks because playing the drums is hella dope. And I think it has a lot of like, there's a lot of cool animations that come with it. And then like, she does that whole jump hit thing, which is super cool. And then she just has a lot of cool animations. Like the spin that she does with it is so fucking cool to watch. Like where she's just twirling.
Yeah, I was just about to say, one of the most underrated parts about the animation is where she's twirling one of them.
Yeah,
you know?
that one's just dope. And then for number 4, I have Gibraltar's War Club. Because that one, I shat on it last time, but it's got a lot of really cool animations. And the sparks that fly out when you hit people with it are pretty fucking sick, honestly. Number 3, Caustic's Death Hammer, even though he got fucking nerfed into the ground, he sucks now. His hammer's really fucking cool.
Very cool.
You can bust down doors with it, which is probably my favorite thing. If you haven't watched that yet, it's fucking cool. Like instead of him kicking it, he literally just bashes the door with a hammer, which is super cool. Number 2, Race Kunai. It's got nostalgia. It also has just a lot of really cool attacking animations, as Troy said. And then if they ever come out with recolors for this bad boy, it's going to be dope.
Awesome.
Just fucking dope. And of course, number 1, I'm a bit biased because I own it, but I really, really love Octane's Butterfly Knife. It's my favorite one.
It's very cool.
Okay, well, I thought you were going to bring sense to the table. And you fucking didn't.
Sorry.
Brian, your list is about to be so
gloves
fucking bad.
Are not good.
Listen, your list is about to be so fucking bad.
Good.
Hold on, you guys. I'm going to go ahead. This is what I did. I went ahead and tallied up all the rankings for all of the heirlooms between all of us because I already know mine. But I will give that at the end, even though mine is clearly the undisputed, unquestionable correct ranking.
This is going to be the worst
I don't
of all
know.
time.
Number 9, Bloodhound's Axe. It's bland.
I can understand it.
It's just an axe. It's bland. There's nothing else to it. Wyatt, take these.
I'm not putting them on yet.
Number 8, Lifeline shock sticks.
Okay, I'm putting them on.
Yeah,
That's fucking stupid.
that is
What is
stupid.
wrong with you?
Bro, literally, they're just boring to me.
What?
Dude, this might be because I have like very little like musical interest whatsoever, but she's swinging around like a little fucking
It's not about music.
stick.
There's not music playing when the
Bro,
sticks are out.
she's literally just sitting there spinning some sticks. Like, okay, cool. Like, you're spinning a fucking baton. No. Trash. Number 8.
I'm glad you have the fucking bullshit.
Number
goggles.
7. Gibraltar's War Club.
Dude,
fucking
what are you
me.
talking about?
You're fucking me. You're
like, I
fucking
get
Bro,
that it
I-
looks weird,
Now-
but like, what?
Now we're getting to they're not horrible. They're not bad. Like, I'm actually not a fan of Lifeline shock sticks. I'm actually not. That might also be PTSD from how many times I've watched B have to do it as I'm sitting there waiting to be respawned.
Because you're dead all the time.
Past tense.
You set
But
yourself up.
that was I set it up past tense. I've gotten a lot better. Gibraltar.
Hashtag I've gotten a lot better.
I've gotten a lot better. Number 7 though, Gibraltar's War Club. It's good, but any heirloom that I can't have out in a dark, like in game, because it's going to give away my position, I think that's just a bad thing in it. You even said yourself, you have to put that thing away when you're trying to fucking rat, and sometimes that you have to rat. There's
Sometimes I leave
game.
it out. Power move. Know where I am. You still won't kill me. Anyway.
You put Bangalore's above that, and it does the same
I'm
shit.
I'm getting to it. Number 6, Mirage's Trophy.
Dude.
Number 6 is Mirage's Trophy. There is more animations with Mirage's Trophy than things like Bloodhound's Axe, more than some of the ones even I have ranked higher, like Octane's Butterfly Knife. There's more things with it. There's a lot of animations. There's a lot of personality that goes behind it. I am a big fan of Mirage, so it does increase it for me, because I don't mind hearing Mirage's voice 20 times a fucking game. I think it's hilarious, and the fact that I know it's going to get on some of the other players in my lobbies, like, nerves, makes it even better. Number 5, Caustic's Deathhammer.
What?
Bro,
Dude.
Number 5, Caustic's Deathhammer. It's a badass one. It's just, it starts getting a little tougher
If
after
Wraith's
this.
Kunai is number 4, I'm going to fucking
Brian,
scream.
you realize you put Wraith's Kunai dead last time, and now you're putting it above all of these?
Listen, I've had a change of heart, just like you have as well.
Okay.
I
can respect that.
Bangalore, number 4, Bangalore's Data Knife.
Okay.
It's not number 1. I hesitated on that for a second, and then I really started to think about it. I go, no, that's fucking stupid. So I dropped it down. But I actually really love the weapon. I love the weapon. I love the animations. I love the slide. I mean, Troy was right. The hits are a little bit more bland. I do understand that. But I actually enjoy the weapon itself and the way it looks and all that kind of stuff. I have 150 heirloom shards sitting on my game right now, and there's been multiple times where I've almost gotten this.
I'm going to need an MLA format, double-spaced explanation of how you moved Wraith's Kunai this high. So when you get to it...
Number 3, Wraith's Kunai.
Okay, I need a full explanation. I don't understand how
Wraith's
this just
Kunai,
happened.
I knocked it hard last
You
time.
knocked it really hard.
And I stand by a lot of things I said. There is almost nothing animation-wise with it.
No.
But this time around, I didn't focus solely on animations, although they do play a large effect in what I think. Wraith's Kunai does still have some animation value. There is some nostalgia value for the majority of the people. But what really got me was when I got to see first person. Mind you, I've never played as Wraith or have a Wraith heirloom. Being able to see firsthand that melee attack where she makes the portal with it, that's pretty badass. And that's more intricate than the rest of the melee attacks that I've seen. That, for me, took it over the top. Like, Lifelines is cool, I guess, but she really just jumps up and does the splits and tries to hit somebody. Not my favorite thing.
Sick.
No, not my favorite thing. You can't even see that when you're actually doing it.
You can kind of make your own animation with Wraith's Kunai as well by sprinting and then going backwards, sprinting and then going backwards, sprint canceling. It'll just kind of flip it around your finger, and you'll see like streamers do that a lot.
Yeah, which that's again like Wraith's Kunai. I brought it up a ways. There is a lot of cool aspects to it, but what I was focusing more on last time was the full animation that you get to inspect with, which I still love those. Those are still the most important part to me. But Wraith's Kunai is very cool. Number 2, Octane's Butterfly Knife.
Dude,
Octane's Butterfly Knife is a badass weapon. You might not, or no, because you love it. You love it as number 1. You have it ranked as number 1.
No, I don't care that you put it 2 because I can understand it being not number 1. What I don't like is Pathfinder's gloves being number 1.
Way to spoil it.
Brian, we knew that was happening from the start.
Listen, it's the best heirloom, hands down.
Okay.
I give the undisputed, definitive
bullshit goes.
ranking. The
Gosh,
best
damn it.
heirloom, hands down. The dude literally has an heirloom that is using an animation that purely shits on another character in the game. Like, I love that. The fact that he decks Bloodhound's, like, fucking bird.
Crow, yeah.
That's great. I love that. Second is his punching animations, that Rock'em Sock'em robot, little things like that. The fact that he is one of the only characters in this game that actually gets to bitch slap somebody is amazing.
Very true.
So there are things in that I just absolutely love, and I'm not going to change it. I fucking love that one.
These
He
goggles
actually-
don't even work because
No,
the bullshit's still coming.
He actually owns the Pathfinder heirloom too.
I do. I do own the Pathfinder heirloom.
On PlayStation.
Yes, on PlayStation, not on my PC account, which makes me sad that there's no cross progression, but whatever. That's for a different topic. That being said, I do have the overall rankings from all of us.
Okay, let's hear the overall.
Okay. Coming in at number 9, we have Bloodhound's Axe.
Okay.
With a collective score, lower the score the better, with a collective score of 34 points.
Damn.
Number 8, we have Mirage's Trophy. Coming in with a 29 points. Number 7, Bangalore's Data Knife.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
26 points. Oh, sorry. 26 points. Number 6. And this breaks my fucking heart, you bastards. Pathfinder's Gloves.
Yep.
At 23 points. I'm putting an asterisk by that.
You don't need to.
Asterisk. My fucking pen won't write.
Yeah. Wonder why.
The reason why.
Must not be a bullshit pen. Doesn't write bullshit.
So that was number 6, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So number 5. Number 5 is Gibraltar's War Club.
Okay.
At 18 points. So there is a little bit of a drop there. So that is actually a pretty good ranking. Like, it got a 4, 3, 4.
No,
and a
I'm
7.
actually liking this.
Number 4, Lifeline Shock Sticks. With a solid 16. That is heavily skewed by 50% of that being my 8.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But I still like it. It's above Pathfinder's Gloves and above the War Club, which I'm down with.
Number 3, Caustic's Death Hammer.
I mean,
Makes sense.
That's kind of unanimous here.
15 points. That was very close with a Lifeline. And realistically, if, you guys had more common sense, Lifeline would be much lower.
Those eyes are beautiful, but they can't see for shit, Brian.
Number 2, Wraith's Kunai.
Okay.
I mean, I think we just got down to the point of saying, even though it doesn't have the coolest and longest animations currently, the kunai is still badass. The animations for the striking that it does have and the running and sliding and all that kind of stuff, it is still very cool.
Little known fact from a guy who has the heirloom, if you have it out and you don't do anything with it for a while, the little like electricity will kind of stop. It'll just sit and it'll look really cool, and then once you hit something again, then it'll come back. That's just a little known fact that I've learned.
Good to know.
Cool.
And number 1, I don't think anyone guessed this one, and I think you guys are just slightly off, but Octane's Butterfly Knife still holds the number 1 spot.
I think that's actually a really solid list put together. Like, if we use that list and we put it on, like, a graphic or something, like, that's a good list.
I think we can put that list on. I think that's something that we could put out. I want to hear how the community feels, how they will support me, and how Lifeline Shock Sticks should be down near the bottom.
I think the
Nobody
community
else
going to be
thinks
pissed.
that, bro.
Yeah,
Bro,
Brian.
everyone thinks it. Everyone thinks it.
Brian, clearly not, because there's 4 of us at this table, and it's sitting pretty good. I was
Sorry. Everyone relevant thinks it.
Oh, my God, Brian.
Anyways, I think that people are going to be pissed at our list because a lot of people like the fucking Bloodhound Axe.
I don't
Blood-
hate them for liking it, you know?
The Bloodhound
It's
Axe
just-
is cool. It's just there's nothing else to it. It's the same thing. If Wraith's Kunai didn't have the continuous animations that it does have, if it didn't have the factor of being a kunai and like just
And the
being
nostalgia
the
factor
first
being
one,
the
the
first
nostalgia
one.
factor, all that stuff going into it, you will damn well bet if Wraith's Kunai came out today as it is, we would be shitting on it.
I was just about to say, can we all agree that if Wraith's Kunai even had just one, maybe like 15, 20-second animation, it'd probably all be number one across the board?
Well, it's number 2 right now.
I
Collectively.
would
like-
still keep it at number 2, but that's because I don't really like Wraith. But yeah,
But I mean, just the look of it. Like, it's got to be the coolest looking one.
Yeah.
honestly, it's pretty dope.
It's a very cool one at its base, but for me, the animations just, I want animations with something that I put that much work or money into.
Exactly. All right, that'll just about do it for our Reddit discussion number 1, Heirloom Rankings. We're going to move on to the Storytime segment of the week, and then on the other side, we'll have our interview about Season 9 with Someone Who Leaks. Values. There are plenty of values out there that define a person and make them who they are. Things like honesty, respectfulness, integrity. One of the most important values for Anita Williams, also known as Bangalore, is family. In the Apex book Pathfinder's Quest, Bangalore tells a story about one of her brothers, a scientist named Zeke. The Bangalore family is full of IMC soldiers and scientists, which means being deployed is a regular thing. Months go by without seeing family members as they go on their missions. Because of this, the Williams family has a tradition. Every time a family member is deployed, they throw a huge party for them the night before. The entire family comes by and they record the event. At the end of the night, they kick everyone out and have one last beer. Just the immediate family members. They make a bracelet out of the bottle caps and give it to the person being deployed. At that person's funeral, whenever they die, they show the video of their party to remember only the good times and cherish the time they had with them. But Zeke had a problem. He met a girl. He would take her everywhere. The girl would flirt with every other guy in the room when Zeke wasn't around. The second he would start to pick up on it, she would turn on the charm and get him back in her good graces. On the night of Zeke's party, he didn't show up. Instead, he spent the night with the girl. No celebration, no bottle cap bracelet. Just a few months later, he would be killed in his lab by malicious soldiers. There was no video for his deployment, just a sad, solemn funeral. The only good part, Bangalore socked Zeke's girl in the face and broke her jaw in 3 places. So what's the moral of the story? Family comes first. Family doesn't have to be your parents, or your siblings, or even your grandparents. It can be a friend, a step-parent, a half-sister, or even a pastor, or even a teacher. Family are the people who hold you accountable and push you to strive to become the person that you want to be, the person that you can be, the people who will be on your doorstep on your darkest day or your finest hour. You put those people first. It's easy to forget how much they mean to you, especially in times of turmoil, or even in Zeke's case, in times of lust. It may feel like you're going to be missing out on something, spending your time with family rather than going out. But I can't remember an instance when I've gone to spend time, real time, like a celebration, with my family and ever regretted it. Never. As a child of divorce, I really didn't get to know my family until about 14. I was scared to talk to them because I thought they were strangers. I didn't really know them. But once I opened up, I'm so glad I did. I have people that I can rely on at all time of the day. When you're at your lowest, or you feel lost, give some family a call, a text, anything. In my case, I cracked a cold one open with my old man and I just talked. Give it a shot. Who knows? You might learn something new. Just do one thing and one thing only. Put family first. That'll do it for this week's story time. We'll see you guys next week. All right, everybody, what's up? We are here with someone who leaks, Jack Go follow him on Twitter at someone who leaks. If you're trying to get the inside scoop on everything Apex Legends, what's coming up in the future, what we could see coming in the form of heirlooms, everything, he'll leak it all. That's what he is here for. Jack, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. So I wanted to start this one off before we get into the leaks and everything crazy. I want to start this one off with a quick little question. Wrote this down because in this episode this week, we were talking a little bit about heirlooms. I want to know your top 3 heirlooms, 1 through 3.
Okay. Shit, I'm on the spot. Oh no. Probably number 1, Bangalore's. Number 2, Lifelines. And number 3, shit. I think Caustics.
Caustics is actually really cool.
Yeah, Caustic is really nice.
Like, and honestly, all of us hate Caustic, but I mean, his heirloom's got to be one of the best, if not the best out there. He's got a solid heirloom, so we got to respect that. What is your least favorite?
Pathfinders. It's bad. It's not fun. It's not funny like Mirage is. It's not good looking, and its animations are really boring.
Very boring. I 100% agree with you. Now, if Brian heard that, he might have a shit conniption. I can't wait to show him this clip of you saying that because that's hilarious.
Perfect.
Let's get into the actual leaks. Now, we had you on a few weeks ago to talk a little bit about Season 9, but as you say in every interview, things are subject to change. We talked about the legends. We had talked about a lot of things. There's been a few weeks now. Some of the information has probably solidified a little bit more, especially I think we're, 30 days out from Season 9?
Less, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the legend. What's it looking like on the legend front for Season 9?
Honestly, it's looking like Valk at this point. I think that's the safest bet, but I don't think it's 100%, but I think it's like 75% it's Valk.
Now, have you learned anything new about Valk and what, is it a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Oh, it's a girl. Okay. Have you learned anything new about what she has in her kit or what type of character / legend she's going to be?
So she is I think she's a recon legend in the current build. She may be switched to an offense, but her tactical ability is a barrage of missiles that will stun enemies. Her passive is a hover similar to Pharah from Overwatch, and her ultimate allows your team to come to her and you guys can redeploy like from the jump ship, essentially.
Wow. Oh, okay, that's pretty awesome. So that good escape tool right there. As far as what she has in the current build, would she look like a character, at least in your mind, that would be overpowered, underpowered? How's she looking?
Depends on how high she can fly with the passive, I think. Otherwise, she seems fairly balanced, but I still hate her to no extent.
Now, this brings up another question because a few weeks ago, our buddy Tobias had leaked some of the information on Blisk. And one of his passives was a wall run. Now, that's always subject to change as well. But now we've got 2 legends that we've heard about. Very interesting movement dynamics into the game, things from Titanfall 2. Are we expected to see more of these developers kind of toying with the movement in this game and trying to maybe move it back a little bit more towards Titanfall 2?
Possibly with Ashe as well. Ashe's ultimate being Phase Breach, which is just dashing forward and placing a portal, but hence the name Breach, you might be able to go through walls and stuff like that.
Oh my God. Okay. We didn't know that. That's insane. So you guys are going to hear us talking about this after me and Jack's interview right now. We were talking about Ashe and Blisk's abilities. We had no idea that you could potentially go through walls. So when you're listening to that,
it's
after
not 100%
this interview,
confirmed, but like based off the name, it would make sense.
Okay. Based off that, we're going to sound like idiots in this next segment, but that's okay. So that's awesome. But anyway, so yeah, that's very interesting. Now, as far as the guns in Season 9, I don't even know if we're getting a gun at all. It sounds like we might be getting a bow.
I don't think we're getting a weapon just in general. I don't think we are anymore.
Not even the bow?
No. We might, like, the bow is still in development. It's far into development, but I don't think we're going to get a weapon for this season. Some things held up another weapon that was supposed to be released. But I think that might just indicate that we're not getting a weapon this season. If anything, it is the bow, though.
Okay. So I've heard some rumblings, too, about a marksman class, which is why I thought the bow was coming. Talk a little bit about that marksman class and what the developer's idea with that marksman class is.
So the marksman class seems to be for like semi-auto rifles and the bow. because it falls between AR and sniper. So stuff like the G7, the 30-30, and the bow would go in there. They're all semi-automatic, high damage, and aren't really snipers, but also aren't ARs.
Okay, I understand that. So, and I saw the ammo look like. Were they going to change ammo types on that as well?
Maybe. I think that I don't know if there's going to be a specific ammo type for it, but I think the bow will have its arrows, 30-30 will still have heavy, and the G7 will still have light.
Now, before we even get to Season 9, we still have some big things in the works for Season 8 with still over a month left. We've talked about some of the events coming up. You've mentioned War Games before. Let's get a little bit into War Games here. What's going on with that? It should just be a week or two out, correct?
Yeah, it starts on April 13th, so 6 days from today. And it will rotate 2 new takeovers, I think, not LTMs. Yeah, rotate 2 new takeovers, or 1 new takeover in every 2 days for a period of 14 days. So you get 7 total takeovers. And there will be recolors of the returning Iron Crown skins, which I posted on Twitter earlier.
Yeah, so go ahead and check those out. A lot of those look really, really cool. I'm going to cop that Gibraltar one as well. Now, as far as the bundles go, we know that they try to nickel and dime us every single way to go. How are those bundles looking?
They are expensive once again. There's going to be another set rotating in next week. I don't know if I'll be able to show them because I don't know if the others, the way I use them, the way I get them will still be active by then. But if they are, I will show them off. They are quite expensive for what you're getting, though.
Okay. So the issue is, and the worry is with those bundles is if you don't get that first rotation of bundles, because there is a bundle where I think all of the skins are in there together, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if the worry is if that bundle goes away and you're just hoping that your skin has a bundle on the other side and it doesn't, you're kind of shit out of luck. Is that kind of what we're looking at?
I think that one might remain in for the entirety of the event, to be honest.
Okay, cool.
But if not, then yeah, that would be the case.
That would be unfortunate. That would
suck ass, dude.
So much ass. So now you just released a gigantic video on Twitter, and we have to get into it. If you guys haven't seen it yet, we have the Season 9 Arena teaser. We obviously saw that there was a platform built into the training room, the training area, and now we know why it's there. That video was incredible, gave me goosebumps, especially as a guy who loves Ash and has been wanting Ash for a long time, getting to see her involved. Watch the full video. If you don't want to be spoiled by it, we'll just let you guys know essentially what it is. But that video, Jack, was gigantic. Run through that and what we can expect. Was that the actual arena at the end there that we're going to be using?
I don't know if that's the actual arena. I'm pretty sure there'll be multiple maps for arena. Some audio got leaked for a map called Exoplanet. That's either going to be for the main game or that'll be for arenas. I'm thinking arenas. But essentially, on the 16th, every time you open a care package, you will get a corrupted key card. And until the 20th, you can do absolutely nothing with it. On the 20th, there will be 3 holograms appearing across each map. One for Kings Canyon, they'll be on the top of Cage, on the riverside of Bunker, and the top of Crash Site. And for Olympus, it'll be in the middle of Carrier, the top of the middle of Estates, and on the top of the wall in Turbine. Once you've collected all the you collected the key card and got all 6 holograms, you go over to the firing range and you put a password into the panel, although it doesn't really need you to put a password in. It just says that. Then you hop onto an evac ship, and it'll take you to another portion of the firing range, which is the arena. You step on an elevator, go up, you'll hear gunshots around, Titans, all this stuff, and then a big hologram bust of Ash will appear to tease arenas coming out.
And it's incredible. Honestly, it's a visual thing. Hearing that won't spoil it at all. Watching it was awesome. It gave me, like I said, it gave me goosebumps, and it brought me back to that Season 5 Broken Ghost, the final thing on that, where you put Ash's head on her. It was very similar to that. Apex has done a really good job with those. I don't know why they don't do them more. But that was really cool. I was really excited to see that. So that was awesome. Now, any other information on the arena? Like you said, there's some stuff for another map. So you think there's going to be more maps than one?
I think there'll be multiple maps for arena. There's arena party crasher audio, which probably means that there'll be an arena on Mirage Voyage. That's what I'm thinking, at least, because there's audio for the hot tub, for the music. It's the same thing. Party Crashers, the name kind of puts it all together. Exoplanet is some ambience for another map. It could be for a full map for Battle Royale, or it could be for arenas. Exoplanet was a small map on Titanfall, so it could be I think it's for arenas, personally. But
Awesome.
As for the rest of the maps, not too sure.
Okay, well, so any information on how arenas are going to go? I know that information has kind of been floating around, but let's give people a refresher on how it's going to go. I think there's a few game modes that are going to be involved.
There's 2 game modes. It's standard, which is 3v3. The ring will close in as if the game gets too long. And I don't know how it's best out of X amount of wins. Don't know how many it is. And then there'll be the same thing, but it's in competitive, and there's a ranked system to it.
Wow, awesome. So they already have that involved. That's going to be cool. If they could fix all the bullshit issues with this game, that'd be awesome. That'd be amazing.
That'd be, yeah.
So, so season 9, it's looking like it's going to be awesome. It's got so many cool things on the horizon. We've got war games coming up. We've got the arena coming up. It just looks like we've got a lot of content in the future. Now let's talk a little bit about heirlooms, because there's been some heirlooms up in the air. Now every single original legend has an heirloom now. So we're starting to move on to some of these newer guys. And what have you seen so far with heirlooms?
Honestly, it's hard to say whose will be for season 9, but the 2 most likely right now are Crypto and Watson. I think there's more evidence leaning towards Crypto's, seeing that it could be a Tanto, which is a small katana.
And then anything on Watson's?
Just that it's in the works. So really, don't know what it is.
What about a guy like Revenant? Have you heard anything about Revenant or anything like that? Because I've heard him in the rumblings as well, from some other data miners. Is his one that's people are looking at?
I think so. I think that he's going to be coming up soon as well, seeing that they don't really follow a development schedule for heirlooms, but I think that they're going to start with the first few legends that they added post-launch.
Now, the heading into season 9, we obviously have had a few great events so far this season. Has there been anything in the files as far as events that are going to be coming up in season 9, or is that a little bit too far out?
It's a little bit too far out. We usually get that when season 9 launches.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, that should just about wrap it up. I might as well ask one more time about Olympus and if they're going to destroy it, because that would hurt my soul. But I got to know, is there anything in the works of them destroying the map? Because as we know, this development team really likes to destroy maps. They just love to shit all over maps.
I might have another teaser coming out in like 2 days for Olympus map changes, where it looks like there is a storm coming towards Olympus and an armada of ships.
Oh.
And apparently, I don't know how, I haven't looked too much into this, but apparently Mirage Voyage will be crashing into Olympus.
Oh,
not 100% sure on that. So don't take my word for it. I've just
yeah. All of this is subject to change, ladies and gentlemen. Like we've always said, we've had a lot of things that we thought were going to happen that happened later on. They just didn't happen when we were going to think. So that's the gist of that. Last question for you.
Okay.
Olympus Fish. Thoughts?
Not much on Olympus Fish. Yeah.
Fuck.
One
Gosh,
day.
damn it.
One day.
All right. Well, thank you. Big time shout out to Jack, someone who leaks, for joining us on the show once again. Go ahead and follow him on Twitter at someone who leaks for all of the latest information. And I really suggest you go watch that video. If you want to wait, I can understand. But dude, it was badass. It was super, super badass. So go ahead and check that out. Follow him. Get all the latest leaks. Jack, thanks for listening, or thanks for joining us once again.
Anytime.
And then go ahead and check out his podcast as well, the Apex Lounge. It is on YouTube and Spotify, right?
It's not on Spotify yet, but it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So it's on YouTube. Go ahead and check out the Apex Lounge. We're big friends with the Apex Lounge over there. We're going to end this one. And then on the other side, we will be talking about Blisk and Ash abilities. We'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks, Jack.
Later.
All right. So We have some information on Season 9, who the legend is going to be. All of that is subject to change. It's changed many times on us. But one thing that we do have is Blisk and Ash have had some of their abilities leaked over the last few weeks. Now, we haven't really talked about it because we wanted to make sure that things were legitimate. Just wanted to make sure that everything was out there. And it is. So now that it is, we can talk a little bit about it. So now Blisk's abilities, his entire kit was posted by our boy Tobias, and now this is still subject to change. It was in testing in Season 7, so it could still change, but I think it's something that we need to talk about because it's very interesting. His passive, his pilot kit, Blisk can hack survey beacons using his data knife, and he can also wall run. That is insanity. His tactical, my ring, my rules, Blisk creates a damaging zone powered by the arena's rings. That makes a lot of sense from that last
limited time mode
we had with the flares, the ring flares. Makes a lot of sense. Probably they were testing something out. And then his ultimate, standby for Titanfall. Blisk summons an auto Titan to suppress an arena. Now, the video released showing his ultimate, and that shit was crazy. Titan drops out of the sky, and it spreads shots across it was a pretty big distance. And it has a scan similar to Bloodhound, scanning enemies, letting you know where they are. Dude is insane. And I gotta say, like, if they left him like this, I don't see how he is not an instant must pick in any team at all. Not for the ult, the wall run. That's insanity. He's basically changing the game. He's changing the game.
The wall run would be really strong. The things that they would have to do to balance him is, one, his hitbox. As we've seen with a lot of the legends, hitbox makes a huge difference. But, dude, that wall run is probably the most underplayed part. It's the thing that nobody's focusing on, and it's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, everybody's talking about, the Titan is crazy, it's going to be so overpowered. They can balance an ult. Wall running, that's basically like, let's take, for instance, the NBA. Steph Curry just starts raining threes. People are like, oh, shit, we don't know what to do. He changed the entire game by playing the way he played. This guy running on walls, no other legend can do anything close to that.
The closest thing we saw was with the glitch with the Octane that they pulled out of the game.
Yeah.
But even then, you could not do that to the extent that you expect to do a actual wall run mechanic. With the movement that some of these legends have, or some of these players have, being able to wall jump around corners that they're actually should technically be jumping the other direction, and they're able to flank that. Imagine a flank of a wall run coming off onto another wall. They can literally hit you from the other side of a building.
What I was thinking about was like him wall running up the Pentagon, like going around the outsides and then just going up a floor each time, and then just like until he reached the top. Mm-hmm. And that's like one. Usually, when you're trying to like penetrate the top of the Pentagon, you're trying to go from multiple different angles. Like that's just one angle that the team definitely won't expect you're coming from.
Well, they can't plan it either.
Yeah, they can't plan for you to show up.
It's wall run is, if you're able to wall run and still gain height off of it, that's insane. But wall running in general is just dirty, because when you have your back to a wall, your side to a wall, that's what's safe. No one's coming from that side. I don't have to worry about threats coming from this angle. And this makes that completely change. The wall is no longer safe. The only thing that is safe for you is probably a Gibraltar dome. And that, as we know, is iffy at best.
Mm-hmm. Now, the things that can counterbalance the power of a wall run are obviously how loud he is on the wall, so sound. So that can change things. How fast he is on the wall, that can change things. But when I first read this, tell me you guys didn't have a similar reaction to where it's like, we already have trouble shooting a Horizon strafing on the top of her tactical. Imagine how hard it might be on some of these instances, especially if like his skin goes into the setting of the wall, how hard it is to, one, spot him, and two, get the shots on him. Because we all know that Apex isn't hit scan on a lot of the weapons. So you're going to have to lead those shots, and depending on how much you can go up and down on the wall, I mean, it can be very, very difficult to deal with.
If you're facing the wall, if he's running on the wall, and he's perpendicular to the wall, so he's basically like his feet are flat on the wall, and there's no angle to his body, and you're staring at it, and you see his head. You might see his fucking head, and that might be a great shot. But imagine how fucking difficult it's going to be to hit somebody's head, and that's the only target you have.
Yeah, because you're basically just a pin.
Yeah,
right.
you're basically a pin, and if you had any range to that with some of the horizontal recoil on these guns, good fucking luck.
Yeah, I mean, you may hit 1 or 2 shots, but I mean, getting a clip, it's going to be difficult.
yeah,
It's not going to be easy.
For the average player, it's going to be very difficult to do, and very difficult for them to adjust to having to look and be alert for another legend. I expect Blisk, if he were to come out in his current version, to be very strong right at the get-go, purely due to that wall run and a different play style.
And now we can't just say that the ult won't be anything either. Now, late game, the wall run will do nothing for you, especially if you're in like one of the final circles. There's a lot of final circles that end up in areas with like really no wall. You're out in the middle of nowhere, so he's kind of stranded there. But then you're forgetting, oh yeah, he's got 2 teammates, and then he can spawn a gigantic Titan that scans everything and just starts laying down shots.
And if you're inside a building, he can just summon a zone right on top of you.
Exactly, because he has that tactical. So he pretty much, I mean, it seems like he's got all bases covered with his kit.
Heat shields are going to be mandated. Every team needs heat shields, and every player on the team needs heat shields. They try to make it viable for respawn beacons. You only ever carry a respawn beacon until you find heat shields. That's what that's going to be. And that's so you can outlive that ult late
Pretty
game.
much.
And I think every team's going to have to run a Gibraltar to protect from that ult.
Which I'm down with anyway. But either way, it's just, it seems very strong. It seems very, I feel like they almost have to play test this and rework it and change it, because I don't think they can keep it this way. They could. There's definitely some things that you could make different. We're also talking about if he's wall running and you're having trouble hitting him, how hard is it for him to hit you? Because, I mean, it might not be the easiest thing, you know?
Well,
It's going to be easier. Think of a Horizon on top of her ability. Like, even with that speed boost when you're strafing, or a better example would be an Octane strafing while stemmed. Harder to hit the shot, but the Octane is so much more used to that situation and so much more in tune with that situation that the chances of them being a better shot in that specific situation is much higher than you hitting a legend you see once in every 10 legends.
Mm-hmm.
true.
So you got to think, too, does Blisk have to be strong? Let's think of it this way. He's the creator of the games. He was in Titanfall 2. He's the main villain, or not really villain. He's the villain for most of the game until you realize that he's really just doing it for money. He's the main guy. Do you think that would be Apex, like, yo, this is our last-ditch effort. This is the way we can get all the money left out of this game. We're tossing him in right at the end, right here. Get some extra money, get some extra play before the end. So, in that case, he would have to be strong, right?
He's going to be the most pushed character this game's ever seen.
He's got to be. And also on top of that, I think that in Titanfall, when you wall run, the guy runs with his legs and then he has an arm touching the wall. So you're not running like straight out. You're kind of like at a slant. And I think that's probably how it's going to work. I don't think you're going to be straight up and down against the wall. I think you're going to be at a slant.
Maybe you can't ADS.
And I don't think, in the game you had one arm on your gun and you had one arm against the wall, kind of like this, and so you could shoot straight, but you can't like aim off to the side.
Well,
and,
no,
like, shoot.
So what I'm saying is maybe they balance it by saying, well, we'll make it to where if he's got one arm on the wall, maybe they can't ADS, so you can't hit as many shots.
So you could just kind of hip fire at people, but
Yeah.
you can't like do anything insane.
That would make the flatline automatically like one of the best guns in the game.
The Spitfire.
Spitfire as well.
at least for Blisk. Like there's certain guns for certain characters that are a lot better for that specific character than anybody else. Like the R99 in Octane's hand is just way better than most characters.
Currently now, because he gets in so close so quick.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with that. Like Watson, she's better suited with a high burst gun from the range. So like a triple take that works well. She probably holds. Not saying that's her best gun, but the triple take probably fits better in her hands than anyone else's. Maybe a Rampart or some shit. But the defensive legends like more range is what it is.
So maybe they're going for the approach like we're going to make him strong as fuck because that's the last ditch effort. Now we have heard from different data miners and stuff like that they have plans out to season 15. We don't know how long that's going to last. And why do I do that? And at what point do they say let's get ready for Titanfall 3? And people say, oh, they're not going to make it. Well, I think they would make a lot of money on Titanfall 3. It's like Apex Legends Call of Duty put into one.
Honestly, I think...
And there's a market for that.
I think if they came out with Titanfall 3 and then they, like, either did like an Apex 2 or they did like a Titanfall 3, but then they made like another battle royale out of it and added in some of the characters from Apex plus some other characters.
I mean, think about it this way. If you have so Call of Duty comes out with Warzone, and then they come out with a new Call of Duty, but Warzone is in that Call of Duty. If you have Apex inside of Titanfall 3, dude, you're making bucks. You're making a lot of money.
I actually see that. That's actually way better, in my opinion. If you just keep Apex the way it is, and then you just add in Titanfall 3, and then now Titanfall 3 is a part of Apex.
Because we've always said, what's the one issue with Apex? Well, it's difficult to play by yourself because it's hard to win a game of Apex. It's a team game. And there's not a whole lot there to keep you there after you play 2 or 3 games, right? If you're a casual player, there's not a whole lot to keep you there after you play 2 or 3 games, especially if you're playing by yourself. You throw that in to an entire game, Titanfall 3 with a campaign, a multiplayer similar to Call of Duty. And I remember Titanfall 2 campaign being hugely successful. It just came out at the wrong time, right when Battlefield 5 came out and a Call of Duty had come out.
Battlefield 5, Call of Duty, and there was one other game.
Might have been Destiny.
Oh,
too.
and
Destiny.
Destiny. It was those 3 games all at the same time. And
so
that was just...
And it was a smaller company. So it's like you come out with all of that, give somebody the opportunity to be like, I'm going to play some PEX. You go in there, you're like, fuck, I just got shredded. Let me go play some team deathmatch or some free-for-all. And in Titanfall 2 multiplayer, everybody has zip lines, and you're ziplining everywhere, and everybody has wall run, and it's like widely considered some of the best movement in any FPS shooter is Titanfall 2. The amount of like cool things you could do in Titanfall 2 multiplayer was insane, plus you call in Titans. So you do all that, you make it one gigantic game. I mean, you're making the bucks, and we've already seen that EA likes to make the bucks and then do nothing with it. But that's what they like to do. So I think Blisk would be maybe like the last step until they start development there.
Blisk, I said it before when we were talking about what Legend's coming next. I stand by it. Blisk is the last Legend we're getting, or the second to last Legend. And the only way he is the last Legend we're getting is if he is supposed to be the antagonist to this storyline, and the last Legend we get is the savior to the storyline. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I see that he's not last. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he's coming in last. He's fixing his games, and we're heading into Titanfall 3.
That'd be awesome, too. That'd be fucking sick.
That'd be pretty sick.
Let's move on to Ashe. So Ashe's abilities were leaked by Tobias earlier today. Just the ultimate, though. Oh, you're stretching. Just the ultimate, though. Her ultimate is basically like a pseudo Wraith portal where she uses it one time and she doesn't phase. She like it's like instant, right? She instantly teleports to where she's going, and then there's no way to go into that portal.
It's think of it as a very short, like almost like a lifeline. How you would set the ultimate, you have that like range of the meter you set it. Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like, and then wherever that little icon is that says that's where the ult's going to, she sets a portal at her original location and teleports to that other location. The portal allows her teammates to follow her, but you can't go back. There's no re-entering the portal from where you landed. Mm-hmm. That's what I saw. That's what I got out of it, which to me screams either that is what a Wraith rework is going to end up being, or Wraith is going to get something entirely different and this is going to replace her.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at as well. That's what it kind of looks like to me. Kyle?
What I think is that either they're going to do one of 3 things. This is either the Wraith rework, or this is like second Wraith, and they're going to be like, do you want the Wraith portal where you can go back through it, but we just shorten the distance a fuck ton so you can only go so far? Or do you want the Wraith portal that maybe you can go farther, but there's no way back?
And it would fit the storyline as well, because you're saying, Wraith was a science experiment gone wrong. Maybe Ashe was the time that they got it right, or maybe when they first started messing around with it. So it would make sense in the storyline to do that, but I think, Brian, you have it more along the lines of Wraith potentially getting reworked, at least her ultimate, so that she can,
I think they already hinted towards her becoming more of a scouting legend. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a rework where she actually does become a recon class legend, where her ultimate and her phase ability are there to gather information, and she's still such a small hitbox. She's already very prominent in a offensive setting. So keeping her as an offensive legend, I almost feel like it's not necessary. She could very well fit into a Pathfinder-esque role in the recon scouting section. While if we see someone like Ashe come in, where that ultimate, there's no really you can escape with that ultimate without a doubt, and your teammates can follow you. But that ultimate is just absolutely lethal mid-fight. Because if you watch the live play of that, if it comes out the way it is fucking fast.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is it fast, if your team is playing with you, like, you are looking at a team, and then in a blink of an eye, you have a full team behind you. It's not there's no time travel between how it is right now with Wraith's Portal, where you have to travel through the entire route that they take. It's instantaneous that you go to it.
Yeah.
Like, you're there. There's no questions about it. We don't know how far it goes yet, but even if that's coming off a Revenant Death Totem,
Yeah.
and that in itself is fucking nasty.
They could also do the thing where it's like the antithesis to Wraith. Overwatch did it really weird, where they had Orisa and then they had Doomfist. The story was Orisa was supposed to be the antithesis to Doomfist, and then Doomfist ended up fucking her in game. Like, if you had a Doomfist, you couldn't play Orisa. But it could be something similar to that, where they're like, maybe the best way to counter Wraith is to just make a character that literally counters Wraith and does something similar to her, but does it maybe a little bit better in some circumstances.
Well, the thing that I would think that is incredibly broken, because if you can aim this fucking thing and just drop it anywhere, imagine there's a team on top of a building and you're at the bottom of the building, and you just aim it at the top of the building and just click the trigger, and it just shoots you straight up on top. Immediately, you're fucking there.
Yeah. The other thing, too, is, like, obviously, it's just one quick video. There's barriers on this, right, where we don't know what barrier, like, how long it's going to...
How far you can
shoot it, how long before you get it, like, the times, all that type of stuff.
How high you can shoot it, how low
if you can shoot it high, or if you have to stay on the ground. So there's still a lot to be said about it, but the concept, very interesting. I like it a lot. And I think it's very cool. I do like this.
To me, watching this makes me think of what Loba's ult should be.
Or Loba's ability?
Loba's ability should be. Like, Loba's ability is supposed to be an instant teleport from one place to another. You can aim it from a range. It covers a decent range. I'm assuming that's what this is going to be, but way fucking better.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. And whether Ashe or Wraith gets this, because I still think that this might be a Wraith rework, and they just put it on Ashe's frame because they're testing anyway. Whether Wraith gets this or Ashe gets this, this is a very dangerous thing in this game. And if you are going against this, you have to be watching your back 24/7.
Now, I gotta wonder if enemies can go through it, but even if they could, it would just be an awful thing to do because, like you said, there's no returning, right? So if they go through that, they're making the conscious decision that, like, it's got to be like you have them super low, and you're like, I can take this.
The only way that's why I don't think it's an escape tool, because they can follow you the same distance that you traveled and very fast. I think it's almost purely aggressive tool. Think of Octane jump padding, full send onto another team's forehead. That's what this is, but you have no flight time in the air. You have nothing that puts you at risk in its current version, which is just insanely deadly to a team. And even mid-fight, even if it doesn't go a long distance, mid-fight, if I'm able to get one building over, that is absolutely
especially
huge.
Like in that mid-game, right, where you're kind of like 8 squads left and you're trying to get yourself that position.
Think about, like, if you got shredded, you pop off a heal, your two teammates are firing at the 3 guys, and they're not looking at you. They're not firing at you. You hit that ultimate, and you teleport behind them, and you have the flank on them instantly.
Yes.
That is huge.
That is insane.
There's no sound from a Pathfinder grapple. There's no Octane flight time. There's no Bloodhound ult, like you pop and they hear you from a mile away. They hear you pop it. Fuck, where is she teleporting to? We have to now turn around, draw our attention away from the fight, turn our back to the people who we are already shooting at, and they're shooting at us, to try to find the fucking person behind us. Remember Sombra?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the same.
That's what it feels like. Sombra from Overwatch, that's what this reminds me of, and that is a scary-ass thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Either way, I'm excited. I've always been the biggest Ash fangirl out there. I'm excited to get Ash in the game. I don't think she's going to be coming in Season 9, but hopefully soon. And I would love to see that. All right, boys. Well, that should just about wrap it up for the show this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for waiting an extra week. We are going to play some music, and the show is over. Nothing else is happening after the ads or the music. There's literally nothing else happening in this it's done.
Done.
There's nothing taking place.
It's definitely over.
It's over. Troy, is this it's over.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up. It's over.
Yeah, it's done.
In the words of Octane, finito.
It's finito. It's done. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to join the Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. We've got some streams coming to you guys later on this week. I'm probably going to do that live stream thing again where Troy had to take 10 shots after getting 10 gifted subs. That was hilarious.
Is that
Shout out SWL, boy.
Oh, fuck yeah. SWL definitely.
Big shout out to Jack.
Jack definitely fucked you over on that, but he helped us a lot, and I love that.
That was awesome.
Was that the stream where we started talking about the Dami? Never mind.
Oh, no, yeah. No. The show's over.
Show's over.
The show's over. All right, boys. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Welcome to the secret part of the show, you fucking bitches. We're here. We're ready to go. Now, if you guys watch the live streams, you know that at one point, about a week and a half ago, we had a live stream. It was the Brian Challenge of the Week. And while we were in the Brian Challenge of the Week, he didn't pass, unfortunately. But while we were in the Brian Challenge of the Week, one of our good listeners, Midas, asked us a question about Dommy Mommies. If you're not familiar with what Dommy Mommies are, there is what is it, dominatrix? Is that what it's called?
Yes. Yeah.
There is a group of women out there who love to have full control in the bedroom. And normally they're called dominatrix. And if any Dommy Mommy calls themselves a Dommy Mommy, they're probably not a Dommy Mommy. But we said on the stream, after talking about Dommy Mommies for about 45 minutes straight.
Yes.
Was it really that long?
Dude,
it was
we
45
talked
minutes.
about Dommy Mommies for like an hour. It was
Jeez.
insane. But after doing that, we said that on the next podcast episode, we would have a Dommy Mommy draft. Now, the draft isn't taking place on this episode. It's a little too late. We started recording a little late. But we are going to lay the groundwork, and we're going to get the draft order in place so that next week we can draft our Dommy Mommies. And we're going to see who has the best Dommy Mommy squad. So, boys, without further ado, let's get into the contestants. Now, if you're listening at home and you hear these names and you want to formulate your own Dommy Mommy team from this, I'm going to say pick 5 and come up with your best Dommy Mommy draft from this. You have nobody else to draft against. You get to just pick who you want. So you pick at home who your top Dommy Mommies were. Now, boys, what are the barriers on this? Do we want the prettiest Dommy Mommies, or do we want the most Dommy of mommies? Where are we going?
It all depends on what you're shooting.
That all depends. I think that comes up to the GM and the GM's game plan for what they decide to do. I mean,
Sorry, Brian, go on.
I was just gonna say I think it's there's a lot of personal preference that comes in there, and I think that it's gonna come down to just who has the best team. Can you compare a team like, the Golden State Warriors when they first started playing small ball to the Detroit Bad Boys? Not really.
Not
I mean,
really.
but
they both won championships.
Exactly. Are they either bad choices? No. That being said, I already know the real answer is just whoever I pick. That's
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not true. Before we say the names, I just kind of want to see, where is each general manager of your Dommy Mommy squad? Where is each GM's head at? And I want to start with Troy. What direction are you looking for with your squad?
I've always been. Let me preface it with this. We're going to have one character on here from the anime Naruto, okay? And if you've watched any Naruto, if you know anything about Naruto it's another iteration of an age-old archetypal story of the brothers in conflict. And Naruto is a dude who's like not quite as individually gifted, but like he becomes hella strong because he's got a bunch of people behind him. And then Sasuke, he is like, he does it all by himself and he's hella gifted. But at the end of the show, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but let's just say they're very competitive. And so I've always thought that like you can have some real standout people on your team, right? But if you have the most cohesive team, you're going to win.
So you want your Dommy Mommies to
I
work.
want all 5, because when I think about a five Dommy Mommy squad, I think of it in one night they're all going to tag out.
Yeah.
So like they're going to be running the train on my poor ass.
On your poor
and
ass.
I want the 5 of them to have the most team chemistry.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. That's my number one like value that I'm shooting for is can I make the most cohesive 5 out of these picks.
Now, when you say the most cohesive 5, are you looking for like kind of like the 5 stages of grief? Like at first, the one is the most rough, and then maybe the second one's maybe like a little less rough but more angry.
Don't forget about denial. Denial's in there too.
Oh, and then the other one's like, I'm not a Dommy Mommy, but she's just slapping the shit out of you. And then what's the next stage? Acceptance. The other one's just like
acceptance. You're like, do it.
Run
Just
of the
fucking
mill,
do it.
run
Do
of the
it.
mill Dommy Mommy. Just run of the mill.
I'm thinking, when I think about it, I think like, how can I pick the Dommy Mommies that fill the holes in each other's game?
Okay, that's a great strat, Brian.
Listen, I think there's one way to go about this, and you got to think of the what is a dommy mommy?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? It is someone.
Great
who,
question.
It is someone who just they come in, they know what they want, and they take what they want. Each one of them, I want them to be so. Honestly, dude, the best way I can describe this is just power.
Power.
I want each one of them to be able to stand on their own. When they each come in, they're there, and it's like, okay, yep, everything's taken care of. Any one of them can come in, and the entire night's done. They don't need to tag out. Each one of them can do it on their own.
Incredible.
And who wants to take an off night?
That's
Kyle.
Kyle. Kyle, what are you looking for in your Dommy Mommy squad here?
Listen, my Dommy Mommy squad. Listen, if I'm getting pegged by a woman, she's got to be hot as fuck.
He's going for attractiveness.
If you're getting pegged by a woman, she's got to be an
Why are we
absolute.
getting pegged?
So Martha
We're
Stewart.
getting pegged? I didn't know that was a thing.
Kyle, we never said that.
I never said that was
Come
not
to
a
that.
part of
You're
it.
not getting pegged?
Nobody
No.
said that there was pegging
Well, if you would
involved.
Well,
They're
listen.
mostly, Kyle, they're mostly just really, well, I guess maybe, like, depending on who you pick, like, looking at this list, I would say Meryl Streep is probably going to want to peg you. But
Don't
like,
forget about Martha.
yeah, Martha Stewart
Martha
as well.
Stewart.
Definitely a
But
She's
what
going to put one of everything in her garden up your ass.
Bro, so depending on your picks, obviously some are maybe going to be less
pegging. All right.
some are going to be more forgiving, I should say, than others. I would stay away from the Streeps, the Martha Stewarts. But
All
yeah,
right,
so
well, since they're not pegging us, I would just say that I would just pick really hot women in general because if she's going to dominate me, I at least want to be turned on the entire time rather than getting the shit beat out of me by some old bag.
awesome. Okay, and then for me, for my team, I am looking for an even balance of what Kyle said, attractiveness, but I also want one good leader. And I'm going to go for my leader with my first overall pick next week. But I want one of these Dommy Mommies to run the show. And then I want the other ones to be complimentary of that. But I'm mostly looking for attractiveness as well. But I will take an outsider who's not attractive, who's just dominant. The most dominant of mominants. That's what I'm looking for. Okay,
Dominant
so
mominants.
that's where I'm going with it. All right, boys. So without further ado, let's get into this list. Like I said, at home, send me your top 5, Twitter, Instagram, DM, wherever you want, and send me a little description on each one why. Let's get into it. Number 1, the sister from Lilo and Stitch, Nani.
Hell
Wow.
I mean,
Wow. Triangle chokes for days with those
that's
legs.
what I'm saying.
My
That's-
goodness.
Jesus.
Jeez. Yeah.
We've got Queen Latifah. We've got
Sheer
Shigo.
force.
Shigo from Kim Possible.
She goes a solid.
She goes bad. Bro.
She goes a solid one.
Honestly, looking at this roster, you could draft an all-goth team if you really wanted to.
Hey, listen, I'm right up that
Hey,
alley.
hey, stop giving away my tactics. Okay?
We've got Betty White. I think she still has some power.
Yeah.
She may be somebody you have to replace, but like you want a grizzled veteran on a short-term contract.
She's a closer. Yeah. What she lacks in calcium, she makes up for inexperience.
It's like she's just beating
just-
you with her purse.
Just take the teeth out. You're fine.
Exactly. We've got Black Widow from the Marvel movies.
Yee.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of Scarlett Johansson. We've got Poison Ivy from the DC movies. We've got Sam, the best friend from Danny Phantom, the goth chick. We're back on the goth chick.
Sam. I forgot about Sam.
We've got Betty Rubble, Barney's wife from the Flintstones. Now,
She a
Barney
freak.
was the biggest simp of all time, and I'm sure it's because Betty Rubble is one of the greatest Dommy Mommies in her generation, which is a while ago. We've got Meryl Streep, the Devil Wears Prada.
Definitely.
We've got Amelia Earhart, first female pilot ever. And honestly, I don't think she died. I don't think the ocean was strong enough to take on her Dommy Mommy force. I think she survived,
No,
and
dude,
she just
she-
was living on an island.
She went
somewhere.
back in time 80 years in a black hole out in space, and she became a Horizon.
She became the first Dommy Mommy ever.
First time, mommy.
Then we've got Martha Stewart.
She went to prison.
We brought her. Yeah, she went to prison.
Yeah.
Then I didn't tell you guys about this one, but I think this is a good pick. Oprah. I put down Oprah Winfrey.
No.
Bro,
one of the
there's no
great-
way you get to have that much power in the world without being one.
No, exactly. So Oprah's up there. We've got Melisandre from Game of Thrones, the Red Witch of the West.
Or
She-
Red Wing. No.
Red Queen of
Red
the
Queen
North.
of the North.
the North.
Which to the west.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that in there.
You
so people
click
can
your
make
heels
fun.
together and you end up with a dildo in your ass.
So we put Dorothy.
How did this happen? Yeah.
Should we put Dorothy in there
It's
from
the
fucking?
whole dog.
Oh my god! I really fucked that one up.
Should we put Dorothy
you
in?
up.
Should we put Dorothy
Follow
in
the
there?
yellow
Dorothy's
brick road.
in. Dorothy's in.
Dorothy's
Follow
in.
the yellow
I'm
brick
putting
road
Dorothy
all
down.
the way to the ER. Yeah.
Okay, so we got Dorothy, Jessica Rabbit. I mean,
Yeah.
that one. I think Kyle's gonna
That's-
try to go for that early.
That might be Kyle's top pick.
Yeah.
It's either my money's on for Kyle, either that or Poison Ivy. That from what we've heard so far.
Then we've got Kim Possible.
That's solid.
Solid
Listen, if
pick.
you can't get Shigo, Kim's the second.
Yeah.
That's how I look at that.
I
Those
really
two.
question her Dommy Mommy skills because she did end up with Ron Possible.
Yeah.
Dude, there's no
But
way.
look, dude,
listen.
she's definitely dominating Ron
There's no
Possible.
way Ron Possible is in any sense.
Did Ron take on her last name? Is that why they call
No,
him
so
Ron
she's-
Possible?
It's
Oh,
Ron.
yeah.
No, it's Kim Possible and
And
Ron
Ron-
Stoppable.
Ron Stoppable, sorry. Ron Stoppable. What a loser.
Literally, listen. If your name is Ron Stoppable, you are not a dominant at anything in your life.
Yeah, you're probably
And the
getting
show tells you that. Literally, Kim, I'm sorry, Rufus.
dominated.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that rat used to have hair.
Yeah.
Then we have Elastigirl, obviously the mom from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
She
The shit that
Troy-
she could do.
Troy
That's
questions.
incredible.
Troy questions her Dommy Mommy
question.
skills as well.
I question the mentality, not the ability. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Then we've got Lana from Archer. We've got Elsa from Frozen. I mean, she
That's-
left home and
Wow.
she built her own ice
Stacked,
castle.
dude,
And she's a cold,
stacked.
hard bitch.
And
Yeah, she-
Imagine being able to make anything out of ice.
in the same
Oh,
universe. In the same universe, we've got Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
Yes.
She
She's drowning your ass and then putting a tentacle in you.
if you're drafting
Hello, Watson.
strictly based on complete dominance, Ursula should be up there on your list. I'm just saying that. On your draft board, she should be somewhere close. Then we've got Is it Mikasa? Mm-hmm. We've got Mikasa from Attack on Titan. I'm not a big anime guy, so I don't know, but Brian and Troy have assured me that people
Listen,
will know who
yeah,
that
if
is.
you guys
I don't know who that is, but I looked it up. Hot damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She-
if you've seen the show, you wouldn't question
if you,
it.
Yeah, no, you would
You
not
wouldn't
question. You watch the first two episodes and you're like, yeah, she's the only one that can fucking do a damn thing. And she controls everyone in the fucking show.
Then we've got the librarian from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
We looked up her name, but
Zalski.
it's I think Margaret or something. So the librarian from Monsters Inc. definitely. We've got Velma from Scooby Doo, Jinkies.
You guys just snuck that one in there.
Yeah, I snuck that
I
in.
didn't even
I
know.
love that.
Yeah, I
I
snuck that
love
one
it
in.
too.
At the
I'm
end.
surprised you
I
didn't
don't
get.
see that.
Are you gonna?
Not
Is
even at
Daphne
all.
in there?
Daphne's not a Dommy Mommy.
No.
Daphne's getting
Neither
railed.
is Vilma.
Daphne's getting
Bro.
destroyed by fucking
Bro,
Phil
Fred-
or whatever.
Fred. Fred? Phil, what the fuck? Fred's
Phil.
in there. Who the fuck's Phil? You know what? She might be getting destroyed by Phil because Fred's a little bitch.
Yeah.
Who gave you that bandana? Phil from marketing.
And then last but not least, Laura Croft from The Tomb Raider.
Damn. Dude.
Yeah.
So there's the board, boys. I'm sure all of us are going to have a very interesting time coming up with their team.
And we get 5, right?
We get,
And
I don't know how many, is that 25?
How many do
So
we have?
23, 24, 25. Yep, so we each get,
can we throw in an honorable mention?
Michelle Obama.
all right, there we go. So that's our big board, boys. We're going to have a tough week trying to figure this one out, but we've got our work cut out for us as GMs of the Dommy Mommy crew. So I'm excited for that.
So we're each picking 5, right?
Yeah.
No, we're drafting, aren't we?
Yeah, we're drafting.
So
5.
I think we need to get that
Let's
draft
get
order
the draft
set real
order
fast.
set up. Okay, so let me spin these around, and we've got 4 numbers in a hat. Who wants to go first? All right, Troy's going first.
All right, can't.
I crushed him up. There you go.
Fuck, what do I get? What do I get?
Come on, baby.
All right. Come on, baby.
Come on,
Give me
baby.
something good.
All right.
Give me
I'll
something
take that.
good. Give me something good.
All right,
It's a snake draft?
It's a snake draft.
Fuck!
Okay.
Got the worst pick in the draft.
All right.
let's go, baby. I'm number 1.
Kyle's got number 1.
I'm number 1, baby.
Let's go, baby. I'm number 4. I got 4.
Kyle, fuck. Kyle got the best pick. Wyatt got the second
Second
best
best
pick. Troy got second.
I'm
so
going to
it's
get
like,
2 picks back to back. I'm going to get
Yeah.
2 picks back to back.
There's a lot of.
You know what?
talent
I would
there.
argue that my pick's better than yours, just because I get that quick turn from one from.
I don't think you guys are going to see this board the same way that I am, so I'm not super worried
listen,
about it.
Troy's going to fill in some holes here and there. Listen, you don't have to worry
Here
about
and
that.
there.
You can go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draft the ones that are going to fill the holes for me.
There you go. That's what a Dommy Mommy does. That's actually the motto of the Dommy Mommy out there.
Yeah.
Fill the holes for them.
All right, boys. Now, seriously, the show's over. If you stuck around, thanks for sticking around.
Thanks for listening to our 3 fucking ads.
There we go. We will have the Dommy Mommy draft next week, and we'll see you guys next time. Once again, listen. Don't forget to follow us on all social medias.
Uh-oh.
And
Are we going to give Midas his shout out?
oh yeah, we might as well give Midas. Let's start our new segment, the Midas Down Bad retweet of the week.
Oh, I can't wait.
And this one, Midas, this is just for you because you really are just. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it up real quick. The Midas Down Bad retweet of the week.
Go drink some soy milk, bro.
Seriously, man. Yeah, the Midas Down Bad retweet of the week. He retweeted from an account called at SHBZZ. The tweet reads, "Aw, you're so cute. Okay, breastfeed me then." That was the Midas Down Bad retweet of the week. Below it is Brian from Family Guy staring into the asshole of another dog. I mean, this guy is just so down bad. Poor Midas.
100%.
We
Midas.
love him to death, but this guy, this guy.
I want to see Midas make a list of this. I'm
would
actually
like-
curious.
Me too.
Like,
I think he did. I think he's doing it on purpose ever since we made it known that he was a simp.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's been retweeting like way more often,
I think he's just
and I
letting
kind
it
of
out.
think it's funny.
I think
owned
he's just
it.
letting it out. It's
Yeah, he
hilarious.
owned it.
So I love it.
By the way, if you're gonna simp, own it.
Just-
Own it like Midas is doing. Like, if
Just
you're gonna
like-
do it, you're gonna do it.
Just
Like,
get into it hard, and then like you'll see it. Like I'm hoping you'll see it along the way that you're
kind of like how the parents
you
used
could
to
be better.
kind of how the parents used to, like, if they caught their kids smoking cigarettes, they would go buy a whole carton of cigarettes and make them smoke the whole fucking carton right then and there.
So they would
get
stop.
So they get
Yeah.
sick as shit. They hate cigarettes. They hate the smell. It makes them feel horrible every time they just. Yeah, it's a bad experience.
Yeah.
Don't smoke,
So,
kids.
Anyway, that was the Midas Down Bad retweet of the week. That'll do it for this week's show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will catch you guys next time. Don't forget to follow us on all social medias. We'll see you next week for episode 32.
Dommy Mommies.